not completely true. Maddie says also that you can push a button with paper, but with paper ballots you can't push a button. You have to stay in line and write. That's also false. First of all, if you stay in line, it's longer because electronic voting machines will fail or malfunction, and if the test screen goes out of calibration or if it crashes, then that's going to wreak havoc on everybody who wants to vote in that city or in that certain place at that time. She also brought up about racist and residency, that it's about ethnicity. I'm totally against that. I don't believe that's true. It's not for ethnicity. It's about the location where they live. A lot of people can't afford to upgrade or get better protection for these electronic voting machines, so they're left with absolutely nothing. They have absolutely no way of getting better control for their city and better protection for their city. Also, technology with voting really has nothing to do with voting. iPhones have been invented. All of these new technology gadgets have been invented. But electronic voting machines are still stuck in 2002 and in 1990s, and there may have been bug fixes, but there hasn't been new technology. And even if you get safeguards or anything to fix it, you're always going to have, where it's such an old machine, things that can't protect it, and you can still hack it in any way. You can hack it through Bluetooth or even online. If you have a website running for overseas military, as I mentioned before, you can still hack the online system. Also, in the 2000 presidential election, when the electronic voting machines were not used, this was taking place after the hole punches, and because of the 2000 presidential election, machines were brought into place, but federal government's funding was out of control. People went so crazy to buy all these new technology that there's really nothing left to spend on today. We have really nothing to do about the 2002 technology with electronic voting machines that we still have. Also, Maddie did bring up that the votes for Mitt Romney didn't count because he couldn't win. It does still affect the election. What if he had been closer to Barack Obama and those votes were cast for Mitt Romney, but they were really meant for Barack Obama? That would have made him win. That would have boosted his votes, and that could have potentially casted the wrong candidate that no one may have even voted for as much. It's easier to press a button than check with a pencil, as Maddie had mentioned before, but pressing that button could potentially be casting the wrong vote for a candidate that you didn't need to cast a vote for. It can lead to hacking or failing and malfunctioning. If, say, the button was out of order, if something happened, then it would take at least a good hour maybe for them to call somebody over who can fix this machine. Even though safeguards can protect hacking, as I mentioned before, with such old machinery, you can't really protect a machine from getting hacked or failing or malfunctioning. And although she says that machines go through lab testing, that's not entirely true. Even if they do go through lab testing, they're still going to get hacked. There's still going to be many, many problems with these machines because they're so old, where it's like having a record player that's from the 1990s. You really can't change it that much. You can fix its needle or something, but it could still be broken. So personally, I think electronic voting machines, it doesn't matter the decade that they were built in, because if it's past the 1990s or 2000, if it's before then there's really nothing you can do about it. You can put locks on it, or you can try to take it through lab testing, but it's still going to be hacked. And with all the technology we have today to hack it, it's so much easier. Someone in our school now actually hacked another middle school's computer, like their printing computer, and they just printed out West test scores for our educational standard system. So if you can do that in middle school, then imagine what adults can do to voting in a voting system. This is a huge issue. This could determine our U.S. president for the next 4 years and maybe more. So it's really not something to be taken lightly. If you have such old machines, then someone should try to do something about it, or switch back to paper voting where you can actually